For these examples, we're now throwing the reciprocals of sine, cosine, and tangent into the mix. But we have the same ideas here. For number 4, we want to identify the quadrant in which secant of theta is positive and tangent of theta is positive as well. Now, if it helps, you can always continue to write down those reciprocals. So we know the reciprocal of sine is cosecant. For cosine, it's secant. And for tangent, it's cotangent. So we can use ASTC to still help us out. Because remember, even if they are reciprocals, they will all share the same sign. So looking at secant of theta being positive, we're essentially looking for wherever cosine is positive. We know that cosine is positive in quadrants 1 and quadrants 4. So that means secant is positive in quadrants 1 and 4. Now for tangent, tangent is also positive in quadrant 1 and it's positive in quadrant 3. So we can conclude that secant and tangent are positive in quadrant 1. So for example 5, now we want to figure out where is cosecant positive and cosine negative. So I have my reciprocals written out here. And we also remember A, S, T, C. All right, so first let's figure out where is cosecant positive. Looking at our reciprocals, we know cosecant and sine are reciprocals. So they will, so wherever sine is positive, cosecant will also be positive. Sine is positive in quadrants 1 and 2, which means cosecant will be positive in quadrants 1 and 2. Now cosine is negative wherever it's not positive. So knowing it would be positive in 1 and 4, then we can say it would be negative in quadrants 2 and 3. So we can conclude that cosecant is positive and cosine is negative in quadrant 2. For our final example, we want to identify where cotangent is negative and secant is negative. Sorry, I have allergies randomly. But here we go. Let's first identify where cotangent is negative. So cotangent is negative wherever tangent is negative. Knowing tangent is positive in quadrants 1 and 3, then it must be negative in quadrants 2 and 4. If tangent's negative in 2 and 4, so is cotangent. All right, so we identified where cotangent is negative. Now we want to figure out where secant is negative. Secant is negative wherever cosine is negative. Knowing cosine is positive in 1 and 4, then cosine must be negative in 2 and 3. Since cosine's negative in 2 and 3, so is secant. So we can conclude that cotangent and secant are both negative in quadrant 2.